Alright lads, you know the score, Imperial Bodybuilding here, and I have some very interesting news for you today. We start off with your former Classic Physique champion, Chris Bumstead, who is looking absolutely insane. Lads, this is a guy that is pure elite genetics. I guarantee you now, Chris is on TRT, you can see how soft he is, but he's maintained all of his Olympia shape. He could probably jump up, go on 300, 400 test, and he could probably get ready for the Olympia in 11 weeks. He's still got all his shape. The size, obviously, the fullness isn't there, but let me tell you now, you put that gear up just slightly. Chris Bumstead is back there. He will not be competing this year, as I've heard Nick Strength and Power and Evan Bodybuilding say. But I can guarantee you now, Chris loves the sport too much not to come back. Chris is obviously, he's had a baby now, if you follow him on Instagram. He's got a wife, he's recently been married. But he's just an absolute freak. You know, he loves to train, and I guarantee you next year or the year after, he's going to pull an Arnold. Let's not forget that Chris is only 30 years old. Guys, he could come back in 5 years and still look absolutely insane. This was him last year at the Prague Pro. His last show, guys, in the Open, and he's a sight to be seen, as the great Louis Marco would say. He is classic. You know, you take him back to the 70s. Yes, he's more advanced with conditioning. But Chris is a phenomenon. Not just the person, not just the physique, but the charisma. He is Arnold 2.0. And I do think we'll see Chris back. What do you think, guys? Do you think if he was to come back next year, even with these new guys like Mike Sommerfeld, how would Chris stack up in this current crop of Mr. Olympia Classic Physique contestants? In other news, we have my friend Nick Walker, who is looking absolutely insane at 7 weeks out from the Olympia. Look, Nick has just taken a massage and he just takes pictures and videos straight away. This is what I love about Nick. You know, nothing is scripted, nothing is filtered. The only thing I would say, Nick is looking absolutely insane, and he's still, in my pick, he's number one for the Olympia. The only thing that Nick needs to do, and it's so important, guys, he has to keep that stomach in check, because lads, if he doesn't, the judges will pick up on it, because the critics are already saying that he has a gut and that he's got a wide waist. But let me tell you now, when he hits the mandatories, the explosive shots like you see here now with the back double bicep, there is no one on the planet that has a back like that. And look at the light. The light is crap. He's actually hitting that shot in the shadows and he looks insane. But Nick is that confident now that no special effects, no lighting, no special lighting is required, because Nick is that confident in his physique. He looks a little bit watery, guys, which is expected. He's not depleted here. But when Nick dials it in, I can tell you now, we've just seen Hadi Chopin from the back, and Hadi does not come close to the density and the thickness of Nick Walker from the back. And this is possibly where the show is going to be won, from that mighty back. Nick Walker is coming, the mutant is coming, and it's going to be an absolute insane Olympia. In other news, we have one of the greatest of all time, Phil Heath. And even though Phil hasn't competed, guys, in 5 years, he's still looking absolutely insane. You just see the muscle bellies on the arms, on the quads, and again, he's probably just on TRT. There's no need for him to roam round now at 280 pounds. Phil is probably my favourite bodybuilder, because back in his day, he was the modern day Thanos. You couldn't touch him. Phil is going to leave a legacy, and it's only when they retired. Let's not forget that people used to criticise Phil all the time for being arrogant, for being cocky, but it's only when a truly great Mr. Olympia retires like Phil do people understand and admire his greatness. This was in 2013, lads, and you have to say the muscle bellies, again, just absolutely insane, gargantuan, Kevin Ravone-esque ×2. If he was to go against Ronnie Coleman, how would he get on? Because I don't think it would be a runaway. I think Phil was that good in his heyday that he could have been a match for anyone. Let me know what you think. Would you like to see Phil Heath come back? Now, in other news, we have had a show today. We have had the Austrian Oak Pro. Terrible lighting, but this was the Classic Physique where Fabian Mar got the victory. To the left, we see Laszlo Corrali, who again, guys, he was robbed. I don't understand the classic criteria. Look at Laszlo on the left. Forget the other guys. Forget Fabian Mar in the middle. But look at the vacuum. Look at the structure. Laszlo Karaly is classic. He is the embodiment of a classic physique, yet he finished 4th. Lads, can you just tell me which way we're going? Fabian Mar is a worthy champion. He's got an amazing physique. He's like a crossbreed between open and classic. But this is Laszlo Karaly. He was conditioned, he was full, perfect for the classic division, yet they finished him 4th. Yet you've got someone like Mike Sommerfeld. Look at that. Guys, that is absolute perfection. The waist, the tapered waist. Look, the conditioning was right on. The structure. He's got everything to be a classic physique champion. Yet it doesn't seem like we're going in this direction. They want someone like Mike Sommerfeld, who's a 2-on-2 champion. But the dryness, just the way he flows, the aesthetics, there's something about his physique that is just 70s. It just screams classic physique. And this is what I want to see. I don't want to see Mike Sommerfeld. And as good as Mike Sommerfeld is, as we can see here. Look, if you look at Mike Sommerfeld, guys, he's classic. The only thing I'd say is you look at those legs, they would blow most of the 2-on-2 guys out the water. Is he classic? I don't know. What do you think, lads? Is this guy the next Mr. Olympia? I mean, he does have classic shots, and I think he understands how to pose and how to execute his body composition. Very dry, and from the back, he's got a massive back again. He'd blow most of the 2-on-2 guys out of the water, but you see shots like this, it's very classical. He's got a very, very tapered waist. Just a lovely flowing physique, but look at the legs. Look how big they are. This is what I want to see in classic physique. It's structure. Yes, conditioning is a factor, but for me, 70s all day. If we're going to have classic physique, why don't we change the name to muscle physique? Because it's certainly nothing like the 70s. Urs Kalazinski, Mike Sommerfeld, they look nothing like the 70s. In other news, Quint Beastwood, and I just wanted to highlight this for a moment. He's been training with Samson Dauda, who's been helping him. This is why Samson is such a great champion. Samson is prepping for the most important show of his life, but yet he has time to coach Quint Beastwood, who is competing in 2 weeks at the Italy Pro. Samson is a real ambassador for the sport. You know, he's not a Sean Ray. And that's why I love Samson so much, because he is selfless. Again, just finish the show off, Laszlo Karaly. I want to know your thoughts. Is this classic? Is this the embodiment of what we should be going for? You know, the serratus, the beautiful tapered waist, the flaring lats. He's pretty much 70s. If you were to take him back to the 70s now, guys, this is classic physique. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Are we going the right direction? I keep asking this question because I don't think we are. I don't think there is a criteria for classic physique. But let me know your thoughts. Are we going in the right direction in classic physique? Do you think Nick Walker can beat Hadi Chopin, Samson Dauda, Nick Walker? It's going to be an amazing Olympia. I keep saying the same thing, but I'm getting excited now. If you haven't already, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.